Hello, good afternoon. It's Adil Fazal here, market analyst at CFDs.com. Be sure to visit www.cfds.com for your trading needs, and you can certainly open an account and apply for the 25% bonus. Alternatively, you have the educational website www.cfds.education, where I post my analysis and updates constantly. Okay. Now, the European markets, let's try and decipher this. It's all about the Euro USD. I did explain with regards to a chart of the Euro, and I explained that it was into its 200 MA and previous support equals resistance. And therefore, the Euro is or does dictate the bias in the market. The Euro is a safe haven currency. If the Euro goes higher, it basically means that some chap is trying to propose or put forward anti-QE basically rhetoric, and obviously that sends the euro higher. It reverses a QE trade, European equities fall, and everything else basically goes into a risk aversion mode. Okay, now given the fact that the euro obviously has pushed higher post Draghi, given the fact that we've had Mr. Weidman's comments yesterday with regards to expectations and how the expectations were absolutely absurd, they were not based on reality. There's talk now of potential leaks, and the leaks being falsified with regards to QE, and the market participants front running that QE illegally, etc., etc. So given the fact that the DAX has dropped almost, let's just have a look here. If we bring up a chart of the German DAX, given the fact that the euro, so a euro thrust from 1.05 to 1.01, okay, so basically looking at a 500 pip move on the euro, equates to a, let's bring up the German DAX. Okay, equates to a pivot high of 11,430 to a pivot low of 10,500. Okay, so 11,400. So basically, you are looking at a 500 pip move on the euro equates to an almost a 900 pip move on the DAX. So that's every pip the euro moves, 2 points move on the DAX. That's basically how you can equate it. Okay, so do you understand how important the euro is now in terms, or the axis, really? It's the axis of the market, really. That's probably the best way of describing it. The euro is the axis of the market, so it basically dictates every move in the market. So if you can forecast the euro, folks, you'll be able to forecast European indices. It's as simple as that. It can't get any more complicated. There's no other way in which I can use any layman's term to try and describe it for you. Just look at the German DAX. You're looking at a 900 pip move, okay, and due to a 500 pip rally in the euro. So every pip the euro moves, the German DAX moves 2 points. Okay, that's the best way of understanding it. Given the fact that the German DAX is now into gap fill and is into previous resistance equals support, and this is why I explained and talked about yesterday as well, then you are looking at a potential bounce in the German DAX. Okay, and that means obviously you're looking at a sell-off in the euro, and that's exactly what we've got. If I bring up the chart of the Euro USD, you can see here on the 60-minute chart, the Euro USD obviously has fallen from the 1.01050, and obviously has fallen almost 100 pips now. And that's obviously led to a risk on move in the European indices to a large extent in terms of the market itself. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at present. Okay, so the comments this morning, we've had pro QE comments from the likes of Jazbek and Likkonen. Okay, I think there's one more chap who's basically dovish as well, and obviously that's helping the euro move lower to a large extent. Okay, we did have French data that slightly came out better than expected, but we had another bout of data that came out worse than expected, so no real discernible move there, or in terms of bias, etc. Now let's try and break this market down in terms of technicals. Okay, given the fact that we know that the euro obviously is now into resistance, and therefore you are looking at a risk on scenario. Okay, euro stocks first of all, looking at the daily chart. Let me get rid of this 50 MA. Okay, so basically previous resistance equals support. That's basically exactly where we've obviously bounced. That's why my bias has been high bullish all morning. Okay, and still maintains bullish bias. Okay, again, you are looking at substantial sell-off, but given the fact that we are into support now, we have this inverted head and shoulders formation which still needs to hit its target. Now the 60-minute chart on the euro stocks itself, you have this falling contracting wedge pattern, folks. Okay, you have horizontal support which obviously is held, you have a bottoming tail, and you are looking at a falling contracting wedge pattern which is generally considered to be bullish under technical analysis. Given the fact that we already know the euro is obviously putting a pivot low, it's hitting a low of 1.0950, then that should generally, a 100 point pip fall in the euro should generally equate to a 200 point rally in the German DAX, and then that hasn't occurred. We've had 80-point rally, but we are lagging. Okay, so again, you are looking for potential rally in the European indices. Now, given the European indices, you have the Euro stocks now making a higher low. So this is the most crucial and most important aspect here. From my perspective, you have horizontal support holding, you have a base being built here, and we are looking for a potential thrust high up to 3290, the pivot high. So bear that in mind for today. So very, very important. Okay, that's basically what we're looking at. Okay, now the German Euro stocks is certainly looking at a higher low, and therefore looking to potentially move higher. Now we've held the fib 75% from the pivot low of the day. Okay, so therefore you are looking at a move higher, and that's basically what I would be expecting. Eventually, we may well be looking at a potential inverted head and shoulders formation. If you look at it from a hypothetical point of view, this is your head being put in, and obviously we test the 3310 and then potentially look to break out. So certainly looking at a bullish move here on Euro stocks. Again, looking at the chart of German DAX, I've already explained to you that DAX is into gap fill support and daily chart, and therefore you are looking for a bounce and you are looking for a move higher. 60-minute chart, yes, we've closed that gap, I've explained already, and we are looking for a move in the opposite direction. This 10-minute chart has an inverted head and shoulders formation now, so keep an eye on this pattern here, folks. Your left shoulder, obviously you've put the head in, and we're looking for a right shoulder, and then off we go to the races. Okay, so certainly looking for a move higher. First resistance zone will be 10,650, then obviously you're looking at 10,700, and then obviously 200 MA at 10,750. So expect quite a stellar rally. That's basically my summation at this juncture. Okay, right, the actual French CAC itself, let's have a look. Again, you had this falling contracting wedge. We did take out and make a new high. Again, technical analysis, as always, proves us all wrong, given the fact that the market sold off en masse overnight on the US markets. Quite a substantial drop, basically led to the collapse of oil itself. Okay. Now, in terms of the market on the French CAC, let's have a look at the daily chart first of all. And again, you're into gap fill support, so therefore you do have an argument for a rally here, so bear that in mind. Okay, so that's something that's quite important, okay, in terms of moving higher. So very, very important here. Okay, we are looking to move higher. Just bear with me, my son wants to colour here for some strange reason. Yeah, cool, 1 second. Okay, so basically gap fill on the French CAC, so therefore into support. 60-minute chart, we're looking at here again, same type of pattern here, falling contracting wedge pattern. Okay, so again we're looking at a potential move higher here too. Okay, so you have this formation and looking for exhaustion, looking for a potential reversal. Now 10-minute chart itself, you are looking for a higher low, which we've already obviously achieved thus far. Okay, and therefore we are looking for, given the fact that we're putting a higher low now, looking for a higher high, which obviously we've had a higher high and now looking for a higher low. So basically this is your higher low. Okay, so lower lows, lower highs, so far so good, as we can see here. Bear with me. So if I take the pivot high here, okay, so therefore any breakout here now would be testing the 4660 level, number one, and then obviously you are looking at those pivot highs up here. Okay, so again we need a break here. Okay, and if this break can occur, then you are looking for a nice reversal pattern here. Okay, so again the French CAC into gap fill support. Now the FTSE 100 I've already done a video on, so I've already covered that. Now I always cross-reference my analysis with the US markets. Now the Nasdaq itself on the 60-minute chart is hitting a double bottom, and therefore it is bullish, and therefore you are looking for a potential move higher. Let's just cross-reference the actual European indices with the stock 600. This is quite crucial and important as well, given the fact that yes, we are now starting to move higher here on the 10-minute chart. You can see we put in a higher low. 60-minute chart, again, that type of pattern here where you put a bottoming tail here, bottoming tails galore, and you are looking for a reversal. Okay, on the daily chart, let's just bring up the daily chart and show you too. Now the daily chart is circumspect, given the fact that there's no real overt support level as such. To now you do have previous resistance equal support in this region here, and therefore you would interpret that as potential support, but no real concrete support zone. That's basically there's certainly more of a probability of it for falling lower, but you do have this previous resistance equal support, and therefore we are looking towards that for now. Now the 10-minute chart basically is the most important here at this juncture, given the fact that we haven't put in a lower low and we've put in a higher low. So that's the important aspect here on the Euro Stock 600. Okay, so or Stock 600. Now look, bring up the 350 S&P 350 Europe. Let's just bring that up too. Okay, S&P 350 Europe, again we are into that zone where previous resistance equals support. You do have this horizontal support here. Obviously you break low, you do have support below, and therefore an area where you would expect bullish price action. Now the 60-minute chart, again you are putting in pivot lows and looking for a potential reversal on the Euro S&P 350, and therefore you are, given the fact that you have this bottoming tail here, we are looking for a move higher. Again, we haven't put in a lower low, so therefore it's bullish, and therefore you are looking at a move or a thrust higher, and then looking for this zone above here. So 1480, and you have the first level at 1470, and then we'll see exactly how the markets react. Okay, folks, I think that's a wrap. Again, you know my bias here. Watch these levels once we come into them for a potential reversal, but for now we're going higher. Honky dory, everything is good, and I wish you the best in your trading week. Again, be sure to visit cfds.com for your trading needs. Alternatively, you can join me in the live analysis service where I share my trades in real time, and I obviously share my entry, exit, stop loss, etc. And currently 300 odd points for the week. Okay, goodbye now. Take care.